Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome back to my channel. Oh, I totally forgot I was wearing my glasses. I can't be bothered putting my contact lenses in. Anyway, today's video is a chatty life update. So just kind of talking through a few things that have been going on, a few dramas, a few good things, a few negative things, just lots of things that have been going on that I perhaps haven't really sort of addressed on social media or on the vlogs or anything like that. But yeah, it's kind of, I love these videos because it's a way of me getting things out and feeling better. It's almost like therapy without anyone like responding as I'm talking, if you know what I mean, which is great. And we always get so much support on these videos and lots of interest and lots of just answering questions that people ask maybe over the course of a couple months or so. So yeah, I think first of all, we are now into month 2 or month 3. We've done 2 months of deployment so far. So Rob's been away for just over 8 weeks, something like that. Feels like a lot longer. It's going so much slower than last time. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm not pregnant and pregnancy seems to speed time up really fast, and I'm not sort of working towards going on maternity leave or going home or anything like that. I'm kind of just plodding along all the way through to Christmas. Oh, I just realised how often my nails are too. So yeah, there's no kind of way of sugarcoating it or making it sound better. I'd love to sit here and say it's all completely fine and we're managing fine, but it's hard. It's hard. It doesn't really get any easier. It kind of, you stop crying, the emotions sort of stop. They flare up every now and again if, I don't know, something triggers you or reminds you of what's going on or whatever, but you're not like crying every day like you are in the beginning. But in terms of like practicality, it doesn't really get any easier. I always have quite a strict routine anyway, so I just kind of carry that on while he's away. And yeah, it's just rubbish. That's all I can say about it. He is alongside at the moment. They were at sea for a bit, so we weren't having much contact at all, but he is alongside now, so that's good. That basically means that we can speak kind of most days. Yeah, most days, depending on what they're up to and how busy they are, which is lovely. It's really good. Still not really getting many video calls just because it's just timings. It's hard with like our routine here and then his routine there. He's only a few hours ahead, but it still messes it up with the kids because we have such little time when we come in from work and nursery and school anyway. So yeah, we're not getting as many video calls as we'd like, but what can you do? We sent him out 2 boxes, so hopefully he'll get them soon, and he wrote us some letters and ended up giving them to one of our neighbours that randomly ended up on his ship for a few days. That was good. At least they arrived, because sometimes they go missing. So that was really lovely. The kids loved that, loved me reading them out to them, and they're a bit emotional, but just really nice sort of keepsakes to have. I know they're really old-fashioned, but yeah, they are lovely. We call them blueies. They're like blue airmail letter things that the BFPO sends. So yeah, that's deployment really. My mum came down to kind of cover childcare for Isla's school transition. So Isla started school, which is another big thing, very exciting, very nerve-wracking for me in the beginning, but we're kind of settling into it now. She had to do 2 mornings, yeah, 2 mornings the first week, then a whole week of mornings, and then has just gone into full-time this week. So in terms of work, I just couldn't cover the childcare at all. I don't know many working parents that could. They have to call on like parents or family or friends or childminders or whatever else to kind of get through it, rather than sort of taking literally all their holiday when they've got all the other school holidays to cover as well. So my mum was down for about 2 weeks. It was really, really lovely, apart from the fact she got ill, bless her little heart. She always seems to get ill in her house. I'm not sure what it is. And I was a bit rough for a couple of days too, which was strange for me. So maybe some like new school bugs were coming into the house rather than like nursery ones, but Isla was fine. But we had a lovely time with her. We got out and about as much as we could, and Isla got lots of granny time, lots of crafting and making Play-Doh and stuff like that. So she was quite happy. In terms of school settling in, she's been doing completely fine. Like, she's been happy enough to go every day, really excited for the first week, and then now I think the novelty's starting to wear off, but she's not upset about going or miserable or anything. She's still really happy to go. We kind of staggered the whole starting breakfast club as well, because to be honest, that's what was stressing me out way more than actual school. It was breakfast and after school club. That's where like my guilt was lying. And also her one's not on site, like it's not in the school, it's out with. And for some reason that just made it a lot worse in my head. I was like, oh no, like maybe I should try and change my hours, maybe I should go back to doing 5 days, maybe I should figure it out basically so I could pick her up as much as I could. But in the end, we're trying it for now, and she seems to love it. It goes from her age up to age 12, so there's a huge mix of kids, And yeah, she seems to be enjoying it. So had her first full day yesterday and came home quite happy, slept very well, and I had to really wake her up this morning, which hasn't happened in a long time. So I think it's starting to catch up on her. But lovely teacher, had a good home visit, and all is going well so far. Yay! Sorry if the angles changed slightly. My camera battery ran out, so I had to change it. But yeah, in terms of work and stuff, for me, my day job, incredibly busy, but has gotten a little bit better, a little bit less stressful, so that's good. Blog and YouTube stuff, super busy, can't keep up, but guess that's a good complaint. In terms of like work and managing having 2 drop-offs now, so before Isla and Lachlan were obviously in the same place, and I was picking them up and dropping them off every day in the same place, which was fab. It's now a bit more of a mission, and also Isla doesn't go to school in our town, she goes to another school, like an out of catchment school, so that kind of adds to the drama. Where I live, the traffic is horrendous. The roads, there's just too many people and there's not enough roads basically, so traffic in the morning is and it changes from day to day. It's just awful, so it's really hard to gauge what's gonna happen and when you're gonna get to places. But so far Isla's been not late to like breakfast club, which is good. It kind of, if she was going to school and I was having to get her into school on school time, I'd probably be even more stressed about it. But at least with breakfast club, she's there before school, so she's never late for school. Although maybe that'll happen on a Thursday when I drop her off, but hopefully not. Yeah, it's just more me getting her there, then getting Lachlan to his nursery, and then getting myself to work all before like 8 o'clock, 8:15. We've had to start getting up quite a bit earlier, but I guess it's just nothing we can change, so we'll just go with it. Pick up at night is also something I've been trying to figure out, as in who I go and get first. Do I get the closest one first and then go to get Isla, or do I risk not getting to Isla in time because the traffic's too bad? So just working on that at the moment. But yeah, I think I've had it very easy for 4 years, and now I'm like, oh no. Something else that's been going on that has been a huge point of stress, I say in our lives, but not our lives, just my life, not the kids' lives, because I've obviously kept them out of it completely because they don't need to know. But we've been having a lot of issues on the marriage patch that I live on. So we live in military housing, not on a base, not gated, it's just like 4 or 5 streets, not even that, 1, 2, 3. Military housing, we're all sort of Navy, RAF or Army. And the houses, I've spoken about it before, I speak about it on Instagram. I'm not ungrateful. I get messages sometimes being like, oh, at least you've got a house, this, that and the other. There are literally no perks to being a military family, and one of the only perks is the fact that our houses are slightly cheaper than private rent. But we suffer for that. They are not maintained. They put no money into them. They patch them up. There's cracks, there's mold, there's things breaking. They're pretty ugly. Our one's actually, I hate it, but it's actually quite a decent one. Some people have different colour carpets in every room, and I'm not talking like your normal colour carpets. I'm talking blues, pinks, greens, reds, like just really old carpets. And yeah, they're just not maintained well at all. But anyway, that's not what I'm going to talk about. It's not anything to do with jobs on the houses. That's a whole other story. But basically, on our patch, we've got some garages that people rent out as well. We don't have one, but some of them, they've been like, they're, again, not maintained, not well secured, old, kind of falling apart. And I think there was one that was completely broken. I think it was broken last year, I'm sure it was. Anyway, some homeless people moved into them, and we've got a Facebook group where we all sort of, it's like a community watch Facebook group, because we had loads of car break-ins last year, so we think it was kind of set up for that. Anyway, someone mentioned that this situation was occurring, and originally it seemed like it was a really sad story. These people had, it was just a couple at first I think, had been evicted from a council house that a mum was living in because the mum died, and it was like a really sad story, and people on the patch tried to help them out a bit, and then a house got broken into. I was just so upset. I already felt uneasy about the fact that all of a sudden there was a lot more just people going around on bikes, like dodgy looking people on bikes, going in and out to the garages, just in general, just didn't feel safe at all. And then this house got broken into. It was an empty house. It was a house that a friend had actually just moved out of. But again, it's just when you're on your own and you've got 2 kids and you've not got any like family nearby, just for like, I don't know, support and for emergencies and whatever, it was even scarier than it would be if it wasn't that case, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I just don't feel very secure in this house anyway. We've like put in extra bolt locks downstairs, and I've got like a camera at the front, but this kind of pushed me over the edge, and I was really upset about it. And looked into getting like an alarm system, and then the situation's kind of just escalated and escalated since then. It turns out these people were lying about their circumstances. They're actually well-known drug addicts in the area, and they're dealing drugs out of this garage, and we were getting the police involved, the military housing people, trying to get the military police involved. I got the Navy welfare people involved. We live really near a base, we were trying to get them involved. And it's just been one thing after another, like just hitting brick walls. And so many of us have been trying to get the situation resolved. We just wanted them taken out of the garages and the garages secured, and then hopefully things would be a lot safer around here. But our cars were getting, like, they were doing sweeps of our cars every night, trying to break into them, or trying to like find ones that had been left open to steal stuff out of. And generally just like, it was just getting a bit sort of antisocial and things like that. And I dreaded coming home every night, and I didn't know whether I'd come home and my house would have been broken into, and I was barely sleeping at night because I was so scared about something happening. And my neighbour's kids started having nightmares, which is just heartbreaking. Yeah, it's just been really, really horrible, really horrible. Eventually the military housing people did come and actually secure the garages. They put new locks on them and just locked these people out, because they were basically saying it's not a property, you know, like for squatters' rights and things, if people move into houses, it's not property, it's just a sort of derelict garage. So there is no sort of, I don't know, this is just what I've been told, I don't know the law or anything. But so they secured these garages, and they stayed secure for like a few days. A lot of people's houses look onto them, so they were keeping an eye on them. And then literally a couple of days ago, these people came back and broke in. So I don't know, I don't even know if it's been fixed again yet. We tried to speak to the military housing people, but I can't even get like my washing line outside fixed, or my radiator, I've been on at them for ages, and mold and stuff fixed. So they just don't really prioritize anything, and it's quite sad. And I think when we've got partners, or we are people that, not me personally, that serve their country and go away and do this and the other, you'd think the least that could happen would be that the families left behind are safe and looked after, but not the case. So that's been a huge thing that's been going on, and been, I don't know, taking up a lot of like my emotional time and strength, which sounds really dramatic, but when your family's safety is kind of threatened, it's a horrible place to be. So yeah, that's that really. Kind of was slightly resolved, slightly ongoing again, but hopefully. I even looked into like trying to move, but the only other military housing they could offer us was in an even worse area, and we'd have to pay for the pleasure of moving there. So I was like, oh no. And then not even being able to talk to Rob about it. He was at sea at the time when it was all really kicking off, and I couldn't even talk to him about it at the end of the day and get support from him until he came back sort of near land. But stress. And it's not a moan, it's just, I don't know, sometimes it's good to share these sides of things, especially from like, I don't know, military family perspective. Our community spirit, like I can't stress how supportive all our neighbours are, and on this page people were like coming around to people's houses that were on their own, seeing if they were okay, because there was another girl who I know whose people had actually tried to come into her house while she was in it, and it was just horrible. So other people's like partners and husbands, a lot of the men were doing patrols and things. So from that perspective, like the community aspect's been really great. It's been such a comfort to know that hopefully if there ever was an emergency situation, I could maybe get hold of someone. So yeah, anyway, ramble. Not much else has been going on. That's probably it in a nutshell. We are just plodding along really. So yeah, I'll probably end the video here, but thank you so much if you made it to the end of this. Hope you found some of it interesting, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.